Hi, I want to talk to you today about the thyroid gland a little bit. Just for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Dr. Laura Gendra. My practice is Active Life Chiropractic Center. And if you suffer from fatigue, unexplained weight gain, feeling cold all the time, maybe some muscle weakness, achiness in your joints, you're losing some hair, if you notice, especially if you're a female, and when you brush your hair, you putting the brush through your hair and just out come gobs of hair. Itchy, dry skin, feeling depressed for no reason, trouble concentrating or remembering things, then you may be suffering from hypothyroidism, which is an under-functioning thyroid gland. The thyroid is like the brake and the gas in your car. If your thyroid is working too much, we call that hyperthyroid. That means you've got your foot on the gas and you're just going, going, going. That's not what we're talking about today. That's not as common. But if you tend to be kind of putting on the brakes too much, that's where your thyroid is not functioning as well as it should be. It's underproducing or underfunctioning. That's what we call hypothyroidism, and that's what I wanted to kind of touch on a little bit today. So if you suffered from any of those symptoms that I mentioned, there's a good chance that your thyroid may not be functioning properly. But how do you know without blood work? Well, there's a simple at-home test that you can kind of use as a baseline. It's a temperature test. And what you do is you take your temperature 3 times a day over the course of about 3 days. And so what you want to do is you want to get one of these types of thermometers that has actually the liquid metal. You do not want to use a digital thermometer. They're not as accurate. So what you want to do is about 3 hours after you've gotten up, you want to take your temperature, just put it in your mouth like you normally would do to take a temperature. Put it in there for 5 minutes. Don't be walking around. Just kind of sit comfortably. After 5 minutes, write down that temperature. Put this away. And then what you want to do is actually, you want to make sure you shake down the thermometer really well. So a crazy thing, it sounds crazy, but it works good. You take this, put it in the case, slip it in a sock, so kind of face down in a sock, kind of twist the sock, and then just kind of swing it around with the thermometer. It acts like a centrifuge, and it pushes that metal down to a low temperature because you want to have an accurate temperature. So the next time you're ready to take your temperature, you're going to be ready. So then at least 3 or more hours later, going to do the same thing, take your temperature, and then do it one more time during the day. At the end of the day, take those temperatures and get your average. So if you took it 3 times, you add them up, divide by 3. And then you're going to do that for 3 days. One thing I would also recommend is when you're feeling your worst, like if you're having a really bad day and you're feeling really bad, take your temperature again, then write that number down. Or if you're having a good day where you feel really good, you don't know why you feel good, take your temperature again as well. So what does all this mean? Most of us know that normal body temperature is 98.6. Well, what happens when your thyroid is not functioning well, your body temperature drops. So if you notice that your temperature measurements are below 98.6, or even I would just say like from the low 98.2 and below, that's a good sign that your thyroid is not functioning well. Maybe you've had blood work done and your blood tests, your doctor says, oh, your thyroid's fine, everything came back normal, but you still feel like crap. Well, that's a good time to take the temperature test. Maybe you've had your blood work done and your thyroid hormones are not normal. You've been put on thyroid medication, or you've taken supplements that you think might help with your thyroid, and you still don't feel well. You take your temperature, and the temperature is still low. What that typically means is your body might have enough thyroid hormones, but you're not processing them correctly. and then that's why your temperature is still low. So what you can possibly do is there's a few things you can do before you need to kind of run out and take medication. So you want to decrease stress. That's like the number one thing. You want to increase exercise, cardiovascular exercise, as well as weight training, doing some yoga, isometric, lifting some weights. Sweat, that's where you're kind of working out, can help with that, because when you sweat, you release toxins. If you have access to a sauna or a steam room, that would be great to get in there a few times a week. Clean up your diet, decrease processed foods, decrease sugar. I'm a big fan of the ketogenic diet, or even the paleo diet. Those are really good as long as you're eating healthy food while you're on those diets. Eating organic when you can, and getting sleep. Really trying to get to bed by 10 o'clock at night. That way you can kind of, get some good rest. So now what can cause some of this? A lot of times with the thyroid, it's usually not the thyroid itself that's the problem. It could be your adrenal glands. It could be a food allergy. It could be leaky gut, which is something I know a lot of people are hearing a lot about with your gut. It could be a bacterial infection. There could be a lot of different things that are causing the problem. And that's where further investigation you would need to do with your practitioner. So what I would suggest is try with these lifestyle tips first. If you do find that you do have that low body temperature, try that for about 30 days. Start taking your temperature again. If you do notice that the temperature is getting better, then kind of keep up with that. If you're trying all these things, you still don't feel better, your temperature is still low, that's when we need to, possibly look into either doing more blood work or other tests, kind of investigating to see what the problem could be. And then again, you may need some prescription intervention, or even some supplements can also help. If you don't have a practitioner, feel free to contact me at drjendra, that's drgendra@gmail.com. I'll be happy to maybe try to connect you with somebody in your area, or I do consultations in my office as well, virtually and in person. And if you have any questions, feel free to comment below on the video, and have a great day.